As a kid, I used to be shy, especially my teenage years. I remember once we were having dinner, I wanted to grab some food. It was this big bowl of chicken with rice called nasi, great dish. But I did it from the middle part of the dish, and my dad was like, why are you doing that? It's stupid to grab food from the middle, not just from the sides, and start from the side. And as a kid I thought, well, okay, I must be stupid, I'll just shut up. And from that moment on, there are more moments in my life that made me shut up during social gatherings, and it made me even more of an introvert. But then I discovered Jordan Peterson on YouTube, and he's speaking about speaking your being forward. Let me share this clip of him with you, and then talk about how to actually not be shy anymore and speak up at important moments in your life.
Because you might ask yourself, like, if for 10 years, if you didn't avoid doing what you knew you needed to do, by your own definitions, right, within the value structure that you've created, to the degree that you've done that, what would you be like? Well, you know, there are remarkable people who come into the world from time to time, and there are people who do find out over decades-long periods what they could be like if they were who they were, if they spoke their being forward. And they get stronger and stronger and stronger, and we don't know the limits to that.
It's Marko, 30 years old, living in the Netherlands, and I started to speak my being forward. I think this is what it means, and maybe you can share your thoughts on this topic, because it's important as men, as human beings in general, that we speak our being forward. But what does it mean? I started recording videos in 2018. I was back then working full-time. Now I'm a full-time entrepreneur, but then one of my colleagues saw one of these videos that I posted online, in which I was sharing my thoughts on this situation we had on work. And I was like, what? My huge video had just like 6 or I think 3 views, and this colleague saw it. It just made me like locked up. Like, I hope he still finds me a great person, even though I spoke about this situation at work. Well, trying to hide the things I'm saying by recording a YouTube video, putting it online, and then being scared because a colleague saw it, it means I was scared to speak my being forward. But I also wasn't capable of speaking my being forward. What is a being? You know the beautiful saying, human beings are human beings. They are not human doings. Maybe the Alan Watts philosopher said that. And it's interesting, because he also said, that Alan Watts guy, you will suffocate. When will you suffocate? If you try to hold your breath. Eventually you'll suffocate. But what if your breath comes and you let it go? It will come back. So I think he's speaking about trying to control things in life, but this video is about speaking your being forward. To me, it means not trying to control the perceptions that people might have of me whenever I'm speaking. And the funny thing is, I helped this man, it was 2022 I think, 4 years into my entrepreneurship journey. 3 years I registered my company officially, and I helped him to grow to 22,000 followers on TikTok, this guy. And he said, well, these videos don't deliver me any money, it's just some, and you know, people looking at me, and my business is not growing from it. So we've been working together. I've been recording him for all these months, and in the end he said, I think in 2022 we ended our how do you say that, man, when you work together? And he didn't have some recognition, you know. He didn't bother about it. He actually said that he didn't really care. Still, we put effort in it, and that sometimes I was doing free work for him, and that sometimes I was doing paid work. So then he said, if you want to continue to work with me, I'm a person of value, he said. And he was really like a mentor to me, great guy, man. But he said this thing, if you want to continue working with me, I won't pay you, it was 750 euros. I will pay you 200 euros just in cash for some TikToks, because yeah, if you want to take it or leave it. And I looked him in the eye and I said, no, I won't do it for that little money. He was like, all right then. So shook hands, all good. I learned tons of things from him. But then something bothered me, and this is about speaking your being forward, man. It just came to me. Call him. Can we meet up one last time? He said yes. So I came to his office, big lion on this painting, big like black painting and then a lion. You know, he's a really cool guy. And I sat there and I thought that I wanted to gain his recognition and acknowledgement for the work that I put in to making his TikToks, which he didn't care about anymore. So then I told him, hey person, let's call him Lion, because he doesn't want to be associated with me anymore, as I've understood, because I came on television with a funny TikTok I made. But whatever, I said, Lion, you've been paying marketing companies tens of thousands of euros. These were your own words, and my voice was a little bit shaky. And you weren't able to grow your socials. I mean, his Instagram had like maybe 2,000 followers, of which he had bought some, which is fine. I've done that in the past too, you know, but eventually you need organic people, right? You had no TikTok with any followers. So I'm glad that you and I together were able to gather over 22,000 followers. And he looked at me and said, all right, like, it's fine that you told me that. And as he again didn't give recognition that I thought I needed to seek from him, to gain from him, to be respected by him for the fact that we did that, I down inside my heart, I knew I was speaking from my being, man. I just told him plainly what I needed to say, without any expectations, without the thing that I thought I expected him to acknowledge the work we put in a way that I wanted him to acknowledge it, but he didn't do so in that way. And at that moment, something clicked. Whenever you're speaking and you want to gain something from someone, you're not speaking your being. I don't know what to compare it with. Because a being is already enough. And if you're speaking in a way that you're not enough and that you need recognition for people, for example, then you're not speaking your being forward. So if you would record a video or tell a person you want to tell something really badly, just tell it to them. And just having told so is enough for you. That's it. You don't need anything. You don't need to gain anything from them. That's, I think, a way to speak your being forward. What do you think?